Hi, my name's Professor Silver, and in today's class, we'll break down the anime history of Steven Stone, detailing all his battles, storylines, and character development. First introduced in Ruby and Sapphire, Steven Stone is a master of steel types, a nearly unbeatable trainer, and an expert geologist. Although it's never confirmed why he loves geology, I suspect it's because his father, Mr. Stone, is the president of the Devon Corporation, a company that once mined rocks and smelted iron. Steven is best remembered for partnering with Alain during the Mega Evolution special, but he was also the focal point of the aforementioned 3-episode arc in Ruby and Sapphire. The arc started in the episode Stairway to Devon when Mr. Stone suggested Ash and Steven would make for powerful allies, continued in Which Wurmple's Which,
Nurse Joy told me that Steven's there searching for some very rare stone,
and concluded in a whole lot of trouble soon after Ash arrived at the cave and fell prey to Team Rocket's evil scheme. Because the commotion caused by the trio's pitfall trap surprised Steven, he stopped mining the cave, started worrying that someone might have gotten hurt, and set out on a rescue mission. Once he found the wayward travelers, he guided them to safety, carried Max across the dangerous chasm, and stopped a horde of rampaging Pokemon using his Aron's roar. Rather than thank Steven for his heroism or marvel at his uncanny ability to command wild steel types, Team Rocket repaid his kindness with a vicious assault. Not taking their insolence kindly, he ordered the gang to stand down and showed off his unrivaled skill as a trainer by blasting off the trio with his Aggron's Hyper Beam. Not only did Hyper Beam devastate Team Rocket, but it also dislodged a Firestone that Steven and Aron had pursued for countless hours of desperate searching. At episode's end, Steven showed Ash a deserted area where he could train for his match against Brawly, and departed on his sailboat to find more stones. Despite the incredible buildup of Steven's power throughout the short arc, he and Ash never battled, trained together, or exchanged more than a few words with each other. Had Steven not returned in the Mega Evolution special to help hype the release of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, he might never have become one of the series' most beloved characters. His comeback allowed him to both showcase his true power and develop a friendly rivalry with Alain that would be followed up upon in XY. While Alain was investigating the giant rock in Hoenn, he ran across Steven and grew so ecstatic at the sight of his keystone that he immediately challenged him to battle. During the match, Steven used his shiny Metagross opposite Alain's Charizard and solidified himself as a world-class trainer whose power knew no limit. Holding back none of its strength, Metagross redirected Flamethrower with Psychic, Mega evolved into an unstoppable bruiser, lowered Mega Charizard's endurance with Flash Cannon, tanked Dragon Claw, and let loose a Meteor Mash so mighty that it nearly obliterated a mountain. Mega Charizard withstood the assault and retaliated with a 4th degree Blast Burn, but Mega Metagross shrugged off the attack without so much as a scratch. When Mega Charizard tried to regain the advantage and pressed forward with another Dragon Claw, Mega Metagross refused to surrender and matched its fury with a supersonic Meteor Mash. Lysander and his Pyroar interrupted the attacks before the two fighters collided, but I have zero doubt Steven would have won the battle had it continued into overtime. Upon ushering in the ceasefire, Lysander revealed to both Alain and the audience alike that Steven had usurped Wallace's Hoenn champion and become the region's most powerful fighter. Since Steven shared Alain's passion for Mega Evolution and believed Lysander could be a helpful ally in tracing its origins, the three trainers combined their research, summoned a magic staircase, called forth the giant rock, and worked together to fend off Mega Rayquaza. Mega Metagross and Mega Charizard did their best to defend the giant rock, but it disappeared at battle's end, so Steven and Alain tracked its location to Rustboro City. Once there, Lysander informed them that Groudon and Kyogre were fast approaching, had undergone Primal reversion, and would soon clash for control of the giant rock. Steven worried Kyogre's goal to enlarge the seas and Groudon's desire to expand the lands would destroy the world, so Mega Metagross distracted Kyogre while Mega Charizard fought Groudon. After missing Flash Cannon, Mega Metagross dodged Origin Pulse, did massive injury with Meteor Mash, and got swatted into the icy surface beneath it by Primal Kyogre's powerful fin. Once Mega Metagross stabilized itself, it withstood Ice Beam, protected Alain and Marin from falling debris, and used Psychic to prevent their early demise. Following Mega Rayquaza's sudden arrival and victory over the Clashing Titans, Lysander distracted the legendary dragon, retrieved the rock, and ferried it to his laboratory. Since Steven didn't know Lysander was using his knowledge and strength to further his plans for world domination, he had no issue following the madman to Kalos. While there, he reunited Marin with Alain, learned more about the rock, and watched as Alain made history by beating Malva's Mega Houndoom. Alain and Steven went their separate ways at the end of the special, but I suspect Steven gave Alain a Beldum before the latter's return in XY. He likely did so because he deeply valued Alain's friendship and greatly respected his tenacity. In addition, this would reference the video games where he also gives the player a Beldum. Steven returned to prominence in Pokemon XY during Rivals Today and Tomorrow, but didn't physically appear in the episode itself beyond flashbacks, photos, and fantasies. At the episode's start, Ash's rival Sawyer revealed Steven had mentored him in Hoenn, given him invaluable battling advice, encouraged him to learn more about Mega Evolution, and inspired him to journey through Kalos. Steven had such a powerful impact on Sawyer that when Team Rocket stole his journal, he stopped at nothing to get it back. Prior to Sawyer's battle with Tierno at the Kalos League, invaluable experience for all, Steven gave him a Keystone and Septolite, hoping that the items would give him the edge he needed to beat his rivals and help him achieve his dreams. The reunion between Sawyer and Steven wasn't shown on screen, but Sawyer made mention of it in the episode The First Day of the Rest of Your Life. Soon after Alain won the league, Lysander unveiled his evil plot, laid siege on Lumiose City, and put in motion his plan to create a more beautiful world. Since Steven likely wanted to atone for his role in Lysander's scheme, he went to Lumiose City in the right hero for the right job, and did his best to undo all the chaos that had been sown by Z2's Vines and team players' foot soldiers. With Mega Metagross at his side, he defended Marin, Sycamore, and Serena from Team Flare's many Pokemon, attracted Jessie, and took out a gang of grunts with Psychic. In rocking Kalos' defenses, Steven further atoned for his sins of ignorance by analyzing the giant rock and ordering Mega Metagross to save Chespy from its clutches. Mega Metagross, Serena's Braixen, and Sycamore's Mega Garchomp tried their hardest to destroy the rock, but it wasn't until Alain's Mega Charizard, Ash Greninja, and Ash's Pikachu arrived that the intensity of the battle truly ramped up to its full zenith. Although the rock's vines nearly spelled the super team's doom, Diantha and the Kalos gym leaders came to their rescue and freed them before any serious harm was done. While regrouping with his new allies, Steven agreed to share command with Diantha and expressed that it was a huge honor to work alongside a fellow champion. He and Diantha then led their army into combat in one of the anime's most epic battles. During the army's attack and forming a more perfect union, Mega Metagross and Diantha's Mega Gardevoir cleared a path for Ash and Alain so that their Pokemon could destroy the rock's exterior and free Chespy from its crystal core. Despite helping free Chespy and beat the giant rock, Steven's noble nature and chivalrous demeanor caused him to forgo celebration and instead focus on discovering what became of Lysander, who had disappeared after getting blasted by the gang's Pokemon. He desperately wanted to find and punish the madman, but Malva convinced him to stand down as she promised she would destroy Team Flare herself and that Lysander no longer presented any real threat to the citizens of the world he so wanted to protect. Because Malva absolved Steven of any further responsibility, he returned to his research on Mega Evolution, employed Sawyer as his ever-loyal lab assistant, and started searching for the giant rock at the ruins of Lysander Labs. It's unknown what's become of Steven since his last appearance, but I suspect he's gotten significantly stronger and become one of the world's top experts on Mega Evolution. While I imagine he spends most of his time hunting for Mega Stones, he likely keeps his skills as champion incredibly sharp by training with Sawyer and Alain whenever possible. And now for Steven's battle record. Steven proved himself as one of the series' most powerful battlers, but he didn't win or lose a single battle on screen. His only known Pokemon in the anime are Aron, Aggron, and Metagross, but if the games offer any clues to the rest of his team, other potential members of his squad include Armaldo, Cradily, Skarmory, Archeops, Aerodactyl, Excadrill, and Carbink. Overall, Steven's classy style, friendship with Alain, mentorship of Sawyer, and insurmountable firepower made him an incredibly cool character. While I'm glad that Steven was given heavy focus in the Mega Evolution special, I would have loved for the writers to have given him a mini-series all his own. A series where he starts his journey with a shiny Beldum, fights his way through the Pokemon League, topples the Elite Four, and crushes Wallace would be so awesome that it would rival that of Pokemon Origins. Even though my hopes for a mini-series will likely never come to pass, I hold hope that we'll one day see Steven return to the anime as a contestant in the World Coronation series. He's had a huge impact on Alain and Sawyer's character development, but he's yet to battle Ash or help him grow as a trainer. Another episode of Focus or Hyperclass battle could be a great way for Steven to make up for long lost time and leave an impression on Ash that is just as strong as that which was left by Cynthia, Brandon, and Volkner. And with that, class is adjourned. I want to extend a huge thanks to the channel's first patrons. If you'd like to vote on which characters I cover in the future, watch videos early, and have your name forever etched in the halls of Silver University, be sure to check out all the perks I offer on Patreon by clicking the first link in the description. And of course, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're never late, and for extra credit, like this video and let me know your thoughts on Steven Stone. Until next time, catch you later.